Hi YouTube. Okay, so I am going to do a video on baby number two because I get asked a lot. When's the next one? When's the next one? So, and honestly, so I'm going to be honest here for a second. I actually didn't even know if I wanted kids. And Kaylee wasn't planned. So now that I've had her, though, I wouldn't change her for the world. And I honestly I'm one of those people where I was like, if I ever get pregnant, I'll keep it, keep the baby. Because I'm adopted. And anyway, I just feel like, if I get pregnant, then that was what was meant to be for me. And so that's exactly what happened to me. And so, baby number two, if I have, if I'm brave enough to go through with the pregnancy again, will not happen for a little bit, because there are a lot of things that my husband and I are, trying to get done. We live in a small house, and we were thinking about selling it, and we're kind of kicking ourselves now because we didn't. Because we're like, oh, we'll wait a little bit longer, and then the market fell. So we are kind of stuck in the same position as a lot of people are. We're paying way too much for our house. And we're upside down in it, but not a lot. Because let's see, he bought it back in 2005. But the problem is that the house is older. I mean, we've completely redone the inside, as you can probably tell. But it's older, and so it's hard to compete with new construction. But the one thing that our house does have that the other houses doesn't is that it has a quarter of an acre. So, yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. So, and my husband, as most of you know, I think, owns his own business. He's an electrical contractor, and he has stayed busy, and we are so extremely lucky for that. Not only has he stayed busy, but he's been stayed busy enough to support us. So, but the problem is that because he runs the business out of our house, he needs a shop to keep his supplies in, and and he has a fleet of vans and whatever. So our needs for a house are very specific, what we are going to need in our next one. And we have 3 bedrooms, and he uses one of them as the office. And 2 of the bedrooms, I mean, all of the bedrooms are small. I think they're small. The closets are small because people apparently back in the 60s did not dress in more than 3 outfits ever in their lifetime. Kaylee's room is really small, especially since we knew that she wasn't going to be spending a lot of time in there because she was so young. So if we were to have baby number 2 in this house, which we really don't want to, but if push came to shove, we would probably have to swap the rooms, and Kaylee and the new baby would have to share a room. Our other option would be to build something in the back that would be a shop with an office out there for him so that we could open up one of the bedrooms. But I actually kind of feel like at this point, I would have them share a room anyways, and then have one of the rooms be a playroom. Because right now, I mean, it's okay with all the toys and stuff, but it's just going to get worse as she gets older. And if we have another baby on top of that, oh my gosh, all the stuff that we'd have would just be ridiculous. So, but we really would like to be out of this house. But the problem with that is that we have to, sit down, and because we could sell our house, but we really just don't want to because it would cost us money to sell, a lot of money, because we are upside down. Not a huge amount, but I think 20 grand. And then, closing costs, and then down payment for a new house. That might not even be accurate. That might even be smaller than that. And I think that was the last time we checked. We were down 20 grand, which I guess could be a lot worse. Our neighbors that just moved out were, I think, 80 grand. But anyway, that would drain all of our retirement and savings and everything. And I'm one of those people that I like to have a safety net. So yeah, I mean, we're obviously going to wait a little bit longer, and our kids would at least be 3 years apart at this point, because because of my pregnancy and how terrible it was, what damage it did to my body, because I have my preeclampsia and everything, my doctor strongly said that I shouldn't have another one sooner than 2 years, which was fine because I didn't want another one anyway, any sooner than that. So, and Kaylee's not even one yet; she'll be one in June. So it gives us a little bit of time, I guess. But I mean, at the same time, it doesn't because who knows how long our house is going to sit on the market before it actually sells. So, and it's hard to. It's also hard right now to get another loan and qualify for another mortgage because number one, we only have one income now because I don't work, and number two, with Brian's, the banks don't like to see, self-employment is already kind of hard. But being self-employed in the industry that he's in, with it going up and down the way it does, the banks are kind of stingy about that, which totally sucks. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. For right now, we're just hanging out and trying to make the best. It's frustrating to us because we pay way too much for this house, and if we were to move right now, we could have a house probably triple the size, like not even joking, and be paying the same amount in mortgage because he bought back when, they were giving the loans away like candy, and he had an arm and the arm went up, and the arm actually just went down in February, but it's still higher than what, a fixed would be, which is annoying, but not much you can do. And our loan is with Bank of America, who we extremely dislike. Anyway, because for some reason, their statements that come in the mail, aren't even the right amount. And you would think that, a corporation big enough like that would be able to have their crap together enough to be able to send us the right. So you have to call every single month. And then the other thing about that is my name's not on the house because Brian bought it in his name. So he has to take time out of his day to call them, which is annoying too because they won't talk to me. So anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I think at this point, I think we will have another one. I mean, I'm not making any promises, but I think we will have another one. And then I think that if it's not a boy, and we've talked about this anyways, we are considering either having a third or adopting, because I'm adopted, and I think that would be really, really cool to give back. I was adopted at 18 months from Korea, and I think that it would just be a neat experience to kind of go through what my parents went through as far as the adoption process goes, but who knows? I mean, it all really just depends on where we are and what's going on and all that stuff. So that's my spiel on baby number 2. But I mean, honestly, I kept all of Kaylee's clothes. I've kept all of her stuff. I haven't given any of her stuff away. I kept her cradle swing. I kept all of that. Because, I am, baby number 2 is, at this point, we think is going to happen. 75% sure, probably, I would say. I just have to, I need a little bit longer to forget about what pregnancy was like because for me, pregnancy is just not fun. And having another one on top, having a toddler on top of that, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Although Kaylee is really mellow and a really easy baby, so that's nice. Although that's the other thing too, is that I'm like, oh, then the next one's totally not going to be mellow like her, probably. It's going to be the opposite. But honestly, if I had to choose, I would have an easy baby first and a really hard one second, I think, because at least then I'll have some parenting experience under my belt, which is better than none. Because the first, even now, I mean, now it's not so scary because she's bigger and stuff, but when she was newborn and stuff, I was so scared of everything. So anyway, oh, my kiddo's up. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later.